Good morning. Okay, morning pain report. I am doing pretty well, just little aches and pains, and mostly in my back and in my gut. So, no surprises there. The headache is completely gone, so that's great. And I do have some demand avoidance today about the second part of my work that I have to get done, but I will get it done. And I'm trying not to think too hard about tomorrow because I think I have 2 meetings scheduled on the same day. So that's going to have to change and I'm going to have to deal with it, but I'm going to deal with it later. Not now. Okay. And one of the things that's also on my mind is writing an email to my PhD committee to I don't really know what the point of the email is actually. So maybe I shouldn't be writing it right away, but I will describe the situation a little bit. Is that I had a meeting with my PhD committee on online because I don't do well going into town. By the time I get there after driving, my neck and shoulders are very sore and then I can't concentrate and it's just harder for me to be tested. So I chose online. But then, as you might know, communicating online is not as direct as communicating in person. So I experienced a trigger during my PhD proposal hearing, is what they're calling it, proposal hearing. I had a moment where one of my committee members made an assumption, made two assumptions, and I was really angry and insulted by both of those assumptions. And because I felt deeply misunderstood, and I was very angry, and anger triggers me. My own anger triggers me. Perceived others' anger triggers me, although I didn't perceive her as angry. But being misunderstood, unheard, I even suspected at the time that. Anyway, I won't say it in public. What I suspected. So, because I was triggered, I tried to just ignore it and go through it. I felt the heat in my body, right? Like I had a full-on panic attack while I was being asked a question. And so I couldn't hear what was being said, first of all, after the triggered part, and then I was having a reaction. So I masked, but I don't mask well, I think, when I'm like that. I just turn beet red and start to cry. That's not masking. It was embarrassing, and I felt very ashamed for having any feelings at all and not being able to control my reactions. I'm even having an upwelling, as you can see, right? So, having that meltdown, or not, I won't call it meltdown, a panic attack. It was a panic attack in the middle of my proposal hearing. And we couldn't finish the meeting because, I think very wisely, one of my committee members is a clinical psychologist and did recognize that I was not well. And I've also shared perhaps a few more details about my past. So even though I wasn't expecting it, they shut down the meeting. And I am now in this weird limbo where I'm on medical leave. I'm clearly in a flare-up of my depression and have been for a couple of years. My original trigger was losing my Uncle Bobby to brain cancer in 2019 or 2020. I don't remember the dates anymore. I'm sorry to cry again. And I was unable to go because of the pandemic. I couldn't go to the funeral, and I couldn't go and be with people, and I couldn't connect, and I felt super abandoned. And I've been trying to cope with that. So I am complexly grieving and freshly re-triggered and stalled in my tracks right now with completing what I need to complete to get my PhD. So the thing is that I've done a lot of emotional work digging into my past and understanding many traumatic things that did happen in my past, you know? And I deal with it creatively. I paint scenes. I have been painting scenes that I find in old photographs that my grandmother had, or that my mother kept, that my other grandmother had. And I've been trying to kind of paint the critical scenes from a child's point of view, my child's point of view, so that I can tell the story of what happened to my family. It connects with society at the time, you know? It's an interesting view, I think, of history, and it's an interesting view of family dynamics. And I don't know if I'm blessed from the trauma or if I just innately have that kind of memory. Maybe I am neurodivergent in the autistic dimension as well as the ADHD dimension. I don't know. But I remember my early childhood, you know? I remember my point of view. I remember what I was thinking when I was trying to learn how to put thoughts into words. So I think it's an interesting perspective. But I can't stop creating and processing my feelings and understanding my trauma stories and my parents' trauma stories and their parents' trauma stories. Like, it's a chain, and nobody was to blame. Nobody. It's just karma. So, how do I put that in a PhD? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't belong there.